What's up, my good people? Today is what you already know what day it is. It's time to talk about Nathan Payne's wholesaling real estate story time, where I dive into my journey. Been in the real estate game for over 6 years now. Started cut my teeth wholesaling, still wholesale, still fix and flip, still do it all. And today we're going to be talking about my first driving for dollars deal. Did I believe I was going to get a driving for dollars deal driving all over Salt Lake City, Utah? I didn't really know. I didn't get my first driving for dollars deal for a long time. It was like months and months and months. And I was like, man, does this stuff even work? I'm about to tell you guys about it. I'm about to tell you how I did it. It was a $42,000 deal. Big deal. Something that I haven't when I was in that part of the journey, that was a big deal at that time. Obviously, that's a lot of money, everybody, but it was exciting. So today we're gonna be talking about that. If you guys are ever like, Nate, come on, bro, you making all this up. I got in my journal. This is the first journal from my experience. And over there on my shelf, you can see there's a bunch of different books. I've been keeping a journal for a long time. Even my middle school, I got a middle school journal. You don't want to read that though. That's just all about girls and whatnot. But yeah, there's just a bunch of, over the last couple of years, I've been documenting my journey as an entrepreneur, and yeah, excited to share it with you. So today, my first driving for dollars deal. How did I get it done? How was the negotiation process? Was I scared? Of course I was scared. I was scared when I was first starting. So I know how it feels when you're brand new. It's nerve-wracking every deal. You're like, "Ooh, is this going to work? Is this not? Is it going to fall through?" Let's take it back to the journey. But real quick, if you guys are watching this live, I appreciate you. Tell me where you're watching from. Again, this is for not only for me to relive the journey, but also for me to help you guys out, because with every story I tell, I drop little nuggets on what I wouldn't do now and what I would do now. So real quick, I do want to check my Facebook group, because they just this is on StreamYard Live, but apparently you can't even stream directly to your Facebook group anymore with StreamYard. So I just want to check if it's streaming. Come on, Facebook. Are you streaming? It's not streaming. I set it up and everything. What's up? Come on. Come on, StreamYard. No, I'm gonna go live. I appreciate you. Just tell me where you're watching this from. This is good stuff. Connect to your streaming software. Let's go. Start screen share. Let's go live. Let's do it. Come on, Facebook. All right, let's see. Start screen share. No. What's up? How's everybody's week going? Everybody having a good time. I hope everyone's feeling great right now. It's I thought this would be easier to do. This is embarrassing. They must have changed their algorithm or the way they do things in Facebook groups. But hey, you just got to roll with the punches. There it is. I'll just do it on my dang phone. It seems easy to go live on here. Freaking Facebook. All right. I'm live on my Facebook group. Okay. So if you're in my Facebook group, I did this for you live. All right, bro. I'm going to put my camera right there. Got to flip the camera around. I feel like a boomer right now trying to figure out this technology. You know what I'm saying? Okay. All right, guys. So let's start all over. Let's rewind that back. All right. Today is Nathan Payne's wholesaling real estate story time, where I tell you the tales from the trenches on how I got started wholesaling real estate. We got my boy Sean Hayes watching. I appreciate you, Sean. Freaking love you, dude. I miss you. But tales from the trenches. We are here talking about how I got my first deal driving for dollars. Okay. It was about 6 years ago. And this is the story. Now, where are we at in the journey? If you guys have been following along with Nathan Payne's wholesaling real estate story time, and before I even speak more, let me crack up a sparkling water from Kirkland, because I don't want to get parched. All right. This is, when you tell stories, sometimes your throat gets dry. That's not happening today. So at this point in the journey, everybody, what we're doing, me and Corey Royce and my old business partner, no longer together, we're still friends, but, we were driving. That's what we did. We just did that big deal in that we got from pay-per-click, but we were still staying faithful. We were still staying strong to driving for dollars. Okay. And guys, we've been driving for dollars for like months now. Okay. This is like 7 months into my journey. We had been driving and no luck, no deals. And I was like, bro, we're marking all the crappy houses in Salt Lake. We're driving through neighborhoods. By the end of the day, my neck is hurting because I'm turning, looking back. We feel like when we stop in front of people's houses to write down the address, or we eventually got an app to do it. Your head's hurting. You're listening to music. but all day you're talking, you're exhausted. Driving is exhausting. Okay. I'm going to shoot you guys straight. You want to drive for dollars? It's exhausting. So we would drive for dollars and no results for a long time, but we stayed consistent. I think we grew the list to about 800 people. Okay. At this moment. And I'm driving. This is just normal. I'm driving and Corey's texting, right? I don't know who he's texting, maybe his wife at the time. But at that moment, I said, hey, man, who are you texting right now? He said, bro, this is a lead. This is someone that we drove for dollars. They want to sell. And I'm like, what? For real? In my mind, I'm like, I can't believe the only time I'm asking who he's texting, it's a lead from driving for dollars. So I'm getting stoked, but I don't want to get too excited because I don't want to, set the expectations too high and then get sad because it doesn't work out. So I say, well, what's going on? What's going on, Corey? And he said, I'm getting us an appointment to talk to him right now. So he schedules an appointment with the seller that we marked their house as crap, like the house looked like it needed a lot of work. So he scheduled the appointment. We show up. We schedule a time. So we go to this house. It's a big old blue House in Northern Salt Lake. And, we go in and it's a wife and a husband just sitting on the couch. They welcome us in. They sit us on the couch. And we're like, hey, guys. So we reached out to you because we're looking to buy a house in the area. Tell us a little bit about why you're thinking about selling. And the guy's like, look, I bought this house to flip this thing, and it's been a nightmare. Okay. We're living in it. I tore out the kitchen. I ran out of funds to flip the kitchen. So he takes us into the kitchen and he's torn off the whole kitchen. There's no kitchen anymore. It's down to the studs, and it's not even normal studs. It's old 1900, 1850 studs where it's just it looks like a creepy abandoned house in there. It's not the normal studs you're thinking about. It's old school. Okay. So he's like, look, I took out everything. We don't even have a kitchen. We're just using a freaking hot plate, right? We're a little burner you buy from Walmart. It's probably 20, 30 bucks. He's like, that's what we're cooking our food on. We're not, we don't have a kitchen. Okay. And I tried to get this house refinanced so I could get more money. They won't approve me. There's no kitchen. The house is falling apart. The floor's sinking in. We want to sell this thing. And I was like, oh, okay. All right. Do you want to show us around a little bit more? So they show us around a little bit more. So we sit down. I got nervous. I'm getting nervous at this point in my journey. I want a deal so bad. I get nervous when I feel like there's a good opportunity. So I'm sweating. I don't even know if I'm sweating, but I'm getting nervous, anxious. Right. And we're like, well, what do you want for it? We were the worst negotiators when we first started. We just, we didn't really have a sales process. We just went in there and crossed our fingers and hoped for the best. So the guy's like, I bought the house for 122,000 2 or 3 years ago. If I can just get out of here, break even, I'm okay with that. And we're like, what, for real? And our minds were like, okay, the house needed a lot of work, but he just wanted to break even, and he bought it years ago. So obviously the house had appreciated even in its bad state, but that's what he wanted. So, we were again, we were bad negotiators. So we're like, well, I think we could do a little bit more. Maybe we can give you a little bit more so you can walk away with some stuff. And they're like, we're for real. So at this point, we didn't have buyers. We were just we just felt like it was a good price deal because I think the ARV might've been 220. So we were like, yeah, we think we can do maybe 130. And he was like, okay, cool. But he's like, let me think about it. And at that time, guys, to overcome the objection of let me think about it, I didn't have one. I was like, okay. It was the worst. When they said, let me think about it, I was shook. I was like, okay, I guess that's all I can do is just wait. So we said, okay, this is what we're going to do. We're going to send you this contract. We're going to this was our negotiating tactics back in the day. Terrible. Hey, we said, we're going to give you 1 day. We're going to give you 1 day to accept it. That's what I said to him. I said, we'll give you 1 day to accept this contract. And if you don't accept it, then, we're going to have to buy something else. That was our style back then. Terrible. Don't do it anymore. I think that's a bad way. You're not going to kind of force someone to sell in their house if they don't want to sell at that moment. So I said, we'll give you 1 day. Guys, I lost so much sleep that night. I was because I was like, man, I really want this deal. I hope they call us in the morning and they say, yes, they accept our offer. So I'm super anxious again, I put it in their hands. And that's not something you do right now. As a good negotiator, you don't just kind of like leave it up. You want to like uncover more roadblocks or what they call yellow lights or issues or smoke screens or whatever. You want to find out, what do you got to do? Like, what do you got to tomorrow? Like, what's going to change by today and tomorrow? Just curious. So I can, maybe there's something we can do to help you out. But instead we just kind of let fate decide. So I can't sleep very good. I'm anxious. I wait till the next day. And I'm like, Corey, have you heard back? And Corey, if you guys know Corey, he's chilling. I'm sure he wasn't worried. I was worried. He's like, no, man, I haven't heard anything. It's all good though. This was a Saturday. So I'm out there raking leaves with my wife. That's all I can think about. I get a text from Corey and he says they signed it and they accepted it. I'm ecstatic. I'm pumped. I'm joyful. Okay. Because I think this is a good deal. But again, we didn't have buyers at the time that were very good. So what did we do? We hit up our wholesaling buddy that was wholesaling all of our deals at that time because we were just focusing on getting deals. We're like, yo, bro, I think we got a good one for you. And he's like, yo, this is a good one. But in order for me to wholesale it, I got to start using my contract now. And we're like, what? We already got to sign with our contract. Why you got to use your contract? He's like, that's just what we got to do. We got to use our contract. So I was tripping again. I was like, oh my gosh, what happens if they go and with our contract, they're like, hey, we need to sign a new contract. They bring their sales guy in and they won't sign. Then we're done for. So I was worried. We go to the house, I think on Monday, and we're just like, hey, we just have some more paper we need to give you guys. And we're bringing another one from our team. In steps in their sales guy. He's like, hey, my name's Brad. Nice to meet you guys. Brad's a cool guy. Hey guys, you know what? We signed this paperwork. They had you. We work with them. We just need you to sign this. And this is they said, look how dumb we were back in the day, guys. He's like, hey, I'm not calling Brad dumb. I'm just saying this is not necessary, but we did it. He said, hey, so, sorry for the confusion, but for the inconvenience of you signing, this and having to sign something else, we're going to give you an extra, I think it was $500. So they're for the purchase of the home. And they're like, sure. They obviously would have signed the paperwork without that. But I was worried and everybody was like, okay, well, we'll just give them a little bit more and it's all good. So they sign. Okay. I don't even know what we're going to wholesale this thing for. I'm JVing. I'm letting them handle this at that point. So on this driving for dollars lead, we got it locked up. We just crossed our fingers and they signed. Not a good strategy, but that's what we did back in the day because we were trash at negotiating and not good. Much better now, obviously. And we had them sign a new paper. 2 days later, they're like, yeah, man, we found someone. We're going to sign it for $42,000. And I'm like, word? $42,000? That's amazing. Guys, they had a buyer that was willing to pay that much. Now, I don't think the normal traditional buyer, like a flipper, they were probably more in the range of like a 10 or 20K assignment, but they did find somebody that was really like that area. John Maxim, if you guys know who he is, he's awesome. I think he's the one that bought that house. And, we just didn't have those relationships at the time with those buyers to wholesale the deal. So we leveraged them. And obviously there was this JV split with them, but we were so happy that they took care of the whole thing. They found the buyer. It was a $42,000 deal. And that was the first driving for dollars deal, guys. It took me about 7 or 8 months to get my first driving for dollars deal. And it was a $42,000 deal with some splits, but that's how it went, guys. And 6, 7, 8 months into the wholesaling business, I was nervous. Guys, I want to know how many of you guys are watching this are nervous about deals because you want deals so bad. Was it just me? Was I the only one that's like anxious and you're crossing your fingers and you're hoping the seller goes with you and they don't go with someone else? Guys, if you feel like that, let me know because that's how I felt a lot until I learned how to negotiate the right way, how to present options, how to get all that anxiety out. So you're not just waiting for them to, say yes or no with your fingers crossed in the hope that it works. There's a better way to do it. There's a better way to negotiate. Obviously you guys can learn that as you go on, but that's how I was feeling. And I had a lot of sales experience. This is a different sales process when buying homes and wholesaling homes and flipping homes. The discussion is different. So I was nervous. Okay. So if you guys feel like that, I'd love to know because I want to connect with you. I want to know how you're doing. That was my story of my first driving for dollars deal, $42,000. And it took a long time, but it was worth it. And we got many more after that, as I'm going to tell you in Nathan Payne's Wholesaling Real Estate Storytime, Tales from the Trenches. I got more, but Again, I tell you these stories so you guys can learn. So what would I do different in this situation? That's what, these stories are for. I would not have negotiated that way. I would not have just been like, well, what do you want for the house? And then I wouldn't have just made an offer and then been like, you guys ready? Is that work for you? Because at that time I had given away kind of like my ammo, or I guess like my value in that negotiation process by just giving up my offer. And then they're like, let me think about it. I would uncover before making my final offer if they're ready to make a decision right now. That's what I would do. I would say, hey guys, I have a pretty decent idea. I don't know exactly where we would be, but I just want to know if we can come to an agreement right now on what price we can pay that we both agree on, we both feel good about. Are you ready to sign right now if you get the right price? And if they said yes, then I would have been like, okay, let's dive into the negotiation and the numbers. Then I would have. But in that situation where I said, hey, are you guys ready to sign right now? And they're like, well, we got to think about it. Then I would have been like, I totally get it. Before I make my final offer, because I just don't want to, I want to make sure we go over everything that's in the way. Plus, I've had this happen a lot where I make offers and then somebody just, calls and then they beat my offer by $1,000. I don't want to lose out on that. I'm not saying you guys would do that. I just like to make sure that, when I make my offer, we're ready to go. Right. And I would explain that, but I would have said, hey, like, okay, you guys got to think about it. Totally understand. Just curious, like maybe I can help you through the process because selling a house is not something you just want to do like that. What questions do you have? What are some of the concerns you have? What do you guys got to think about? Just, what are some of the things that are concerning you? Later, we found out that they needed to find a place to move. So I would have been like, okay, so you guys need to find a place to move. Totally get it. Is that something that you want to figure out before you decide, you sign? What we found out, it was a no. They didn't need to figure out where they needed to move. We found that out after they agreed. But you guys, there's a lot of things that can be like speed bumps, roadblocks, yellow smoke screens, yellow lights, whatever you want to call them. Objections. You want to uncover those before you give away your offer completely. Okay. And the way I do this is I give them a range, right? You can say, because if they're like, well, just make me an offer, you can just be like, look, I'm going to be in this range. This is where I usually buy properties. Now, this is not my final offer, but I'm probably going to be somewhere around like, you said you bought this house for 122. We'd be right around, 115. You bought it 122. We'd be around 115 to 125. Right. And if that's where I'm thinking. I need to crunch my numbers a little bit more, but until you're ready to make a solid decision, I just want to be able to come prepared. So I still have like it close to my chest. That's what I would do. Okay. So the negotiation would have gone a lot smoother. And, yeah, that's pretty much it. And then knowing what I know now, I know how many leads you really need to drive for dollars in order, and how many texts and how many things. Like before, I was sitting there like, man, driving for dollars doesn't work. That's what I was thinking. But now I know the amount that goes into how many leads you need to get, to call, to text, to reach out to. So my expectations would have been a little bit different, knowing that like maybe I just didn't have enough leads. Maybe I wasn't reaching out enough back in the day. But those are the two things I learned. So if you guys are going to do driving for dollars, be consistent. Know that you need a lot of leads to go through, because just because a house looks like crap doesn't mean someone wants to sell. It could be a rental. It could be a lot of things. Maybe the person likes their house not looking that good. They don't want to spend all their money on it, fix it, like painting it. A lot of people don't care, or have the money, but they don't need to move. So driving for dollars, have the right expectations that you need quite a bit of leads, and then know that the negotiation process is an art. I came from the door-to-door sales background, guys. I sucked at negotiating, buying houses when I first started. I was great at selling DirecTV and Dish Network. I could change your satellite and change your cable like a baller, like a beast, but it was not the same sales process. So if you guys think you're really good at sales in one industry, it might not be the same thing with buying and selling houses. This is more of like a consultation, figuring out what options they've explored, being more of like, no, not trying to pressure people. You can't pressure someone into selling their home. It doesn't work. Like, and with door to door, you could be like, hey, my truck's leaving tomorrow. If you don't make this decision, you're going to lose out forever. And they're like, oh no, I got to buy this while your truck's in the area. You can't do that with real estate. You can't be like, hey, I'm only buying in this neighborhood for the next 2 days. So you gotta, you in or out. So That's what I want you guys to learn. Let me look at some of the comments. I got some comments coming in here. So let's see what we got. The CEO right here. What up, bro? Story time. Let's go. CEO, what'd you think of that story time? People that are watching this live, give me some feedback. If you thought that story sucked, I need to know. That's my life. That's the story I've had. I want to know about your stories. If you think my stories are trash, let's hear yours. If you like my stories, I'd like to know. All right, let's go. Let's see what the CEO is saying these days. I go into everything assuming it won't go through, assuming it's going to be a waste of time. So when it does, bro, I'm the exact same way, man. Like for me, I used to get my expectations up. And the thing with real estate is like there's so many things that can go wrong. There's something can happen with the seller, something can happen with the buyer, something can happen to the title company. There can be liens, there can be issues at title. Like there's a lot of things that can happen in by the time you sign or you talk to that seller and it closes. So if you set your expectations like, oh, I'm gonna get this deal is gonna be huge. Wait till that hits your bank account. That's when you celebrate. Let me give you an example, everybody. I'm gonna knock on wood because you never know. But we got a deal right now. It's an $86,000 deal that closes today. All right, knock on wood that nothing happens to the buyer that's signing. The sellers have already signed. The buyer is signing today, and yeah, $86,000. Now that's exciting. I'm pumped, but I'm also reserved. I'm reserving the pumped. I'm reserving the excitement because you never know. Okay. But that $86,000 deal, guys, I got that from a buddy. Okay. My buddy, that through networking, through this social that I'm doing. This is the big reason I do socials, just because a lot of people, bring me deals and we can do deals together, everybody. He just says, he came to me and he said, hey, Nathan, I got a lady I know that wants to sell her house for cash. She's getting divorced and she doesn't want to list it. I said, okay, well, what do you want to do? He's like, well, I don't know what to do. I don't know anything about real estate, but can you help her out? I know you work with cash. You buy houses for cash and you work with people. I said, yeah, give me the lead. I'll give you 20% of the deal of what I make. I'll just give you 20% for the lead. He gave me the lady. He gave me the lead and I did everything negotiation, buyers, everything. And he's getting paid $17,200 just for bringing me a lead. Now, if that sounds tight, that is tight. It's exciting. Okay. But again, knock on wood. Am I that pumped? Of course I'm pumped inside, but I'm also reserved. And that's to answer the CEO. You have high expectations. You hold yourself to a high level. You want to do well, but you reserve. You're like, hey, let's see what happens. So I'm sure a lot of people are like that too. What's up, Nathan? Hey, man, what's up? One with nature. I appreciate you shouting me out. Okay, you ran into a problem with wholesaling the painless way. Let's hear it. What you got? I ran into a problem wholesaling the painless way. I found a deal, brought it to my trusted cash buyer who I've done deals with in the past. I told him I wanted 10K. Okay, cool. All right, what's the problem? Keep going. Let's hear the truth. Let's hear it. Okay. Let's see. Took him 2 months to come to an agreement. Now he tells me that he is only going to pay me $2,500 finder's fee. Man, that's your trusted buyer, huh? Let me talk to him. I'll talk to him. One with nature, because that's jacked up. Now, there's no reason 2 months. They should take 2 months and then pay you less. If anything, he should pay you more because property values have gone up. Now, let me talk to him. Because that's not cool. And that's the thing with the painless ways. You want to work with people that you trust. And if they get froggy on you, let me talk to him, because that's not the right thing. That's not honest. Now, if he's like, hey man, I put a lot of work into this and blah, it's like, look, it depends. Like when you do the painless way, guys, when I and one with nature, I don't want to say you don't get your fee or get what you agreed on, right? But when I give people a deal, this is how it usually works. It's like, hey, I got a seller that I've talked with. They want to sell. I just need to know what you want to pay, what you're able to pay. And if they tell me a certain price, usually it goes from there at that point, like smooth. But if the buyer gets involved, if the buyer starts negotiating, if the buyer starts doing a lot of work, they're going to want more, because they're like, bro, I've taken this a lot further. And that's why, like, you got to set the right expectations, that if you're going to do it the painless way, you you're pretty much saying, hey, what are you paying? That's all I need to know from you, right? I'm not saying you haven't done any of this, but I'm letting you know it can get funky if they start getting involved more and they feel like they've done more. And then you just have to have an open, honest conversation. But let me continue to read what you said. I told him I'd take 5. Okay. I would take, if you agreed on 10, you should do 10, unless something's happened. Or again, like I said, he's done a lot more work. I have cash buyers looking for deals, and I trusted him to follow through. You know what? If so, another thing is, has he locked it up under contract? Do you have it under contract? Like, what's the scenario? Uh, and I like the painless way too, because you also have to look at it this way. One with nature, that deal, technically you brought it to your buyer because you weren't at least when I bring deals to my buyers, I'm not, it's like a 50-50. I'm like, maybe this is a deal, maybe it's not. That's why I want to ask their opinion. So if they do snake me, I don't do deals with them anymore. And I also don't feel too bad, because it's like, I didn't really know, right? Like I needed their opinion to make it work. So it's not like something that like I feel terrible, because it's like, well, I wasn't really sure, and they kind of did a lot of that work. Okay. Well, look, one with nature, I don't know your real name, but doing things the painless way, like there's things that I say to do, and then there's like the way to do it. Like if I was able to kind of guide you through it. So I don't know exactly what you did, what steps you did, but like for me, like we sign an agreement agreeing on like with the price. I send it to the title company. He signs the invoice, or we sign the agreement. The title company knows what's going on. So it's not like, it just like 2 months down the road, he's like, hey, I'm closing on that deal you gave me. It's not like that. So I'd have to get a little bit deeper into it, but there is a smooth way to do it. And I appreciate you bringing this to me. I think I need to find out some more details and see how I can help you out. Did he have it under contract? I realize there's a painless way. I take it it's reverse wholesaling. The painless way is not always, it's not technically reverse wholesaling. It's more of like, you're just getting, before you lock up a property under contract, you get feedback from buyers, and you're not like looking specifically for this one guy, right? Or for like 3 buyers. You're getting deals, and then you're basically saying, hey, look, I got a deal. I'm negotiating with the buyer. So where would you be? Right. And so you're getting feedback. So you're doing this all without having to get under contract. And then you can it helps you and you're able to leverage their offer. So you're able to negotiate better. And that's the 86K deal is actually what we did. We were able to not have to get it under contract. We were able to just leverage our buyers that came through and say, hey, where would you be? We went to the seller and we're like, hey, this is the offer range we're going to be. Can you be somewhere around here? And then we got a buyer, negotiate our fee. And that's how we're about to make that much. So it really, guys, you got to make sure you're doing it the right way. And I know you can like watch videos and you can like see what I'm talking about, but there's like, there's always little things that, whether you're like riding a bike or learning how to do wrestling or jiu-jitsu, there's always little tweaks that get you better. That's just how business is. So sorry if, I try to give you guys as much information as I can, but there's only so much over these videos. He said he was closing today, but I think he could be dragging out because he is buying it seller finance. Okay. This is good. So when you brought him the deal, you probably agreed at 10,000, but did you negotiate the terms on the seller finance? What happens a lot of these buyers in their mind, they're like, bro, you gave me something and I made something of it. Like I took over it, and I'm not making as much as I thought we were going to make. And I'm doing this on terms, and it's just not as juicy as I thought, but I'm buying it. So that's a lot. That's actually happened sometimes when I've talked to people, and I get it. If they took over and I kind of gave up, or they just took over the negotiations or the deal structuring. Painless flipping is you handle the negotiations, you handle the deal structuring, and you don't like hand over the lead. You just ask them for, their feedback. Now, if you're like, hey, here's the lead, here's the person, talk to the person. Yeah, they're going to feel like they did a lot more, and they're going to try and get froggy on you. Now, I don't know if that's true, but I'm just speaking out of my A now. So next time, get my finder's fee in writing. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I could go in deeper right now, one with nature, but We usually get it in an invoice as a consulting fee, and we sign it. They sign it. We send it to the title company. We get paid. He went around you, brother. He is not to be trusted. That sucks. Did you get? Yeah, I'm interested in chatting about it because I think I can still help you. This dude is not going to want to risk his reputation over 2,500, 5K, 10K. But if it's like, dude, this deal is not what we agreed on, it's totally different than what was originally structured, then you just have to have that good combo. The buyer did tell me he did all of the negotiation, most of the work, and all I did was introduce him to the seller. Okay, so the painless way, guys, to let you know, it's not introducing them to the seller. None of my buyers, this is the good thing about, I love working with people, right? And I'm sorry if you guys got this from the painless way. I do not give the buyer the seller's information. I don't say negotiate this. I don't say anything like that. The painless way is you bring them a deal that's negotiated and you say, where are you for this to make a deal happen? That's where you're able to negotiate your fee. You're not really able to negotiate a fee if you're like, hey, I want 10K. Here's the lead. And then they can't even negotiate that good or that good of a deal to pay you that. Right. And, you know, we're poo-pooing on this guy, but maybe it's not that juicy. But that's why you have to have a conversation with them. So I would just be like, hey, bro, this is my expectations when I gave you that. I was wanted 10K. Can you can you help me out here? Like, you know, but I'm letting you know, unfortunately, from what you're telling me, that's just not how I do it. I give them something on a silver platter and I just say, hey, where you need to be. Now, if I came in and said, hey, here's the lead, here's the seller, negotiate it. I lost because I lost my value. Like, what did I do other than bring the lead? Then they're like, as this guy's feeling right now, I've done all this, this, and this, and this. You take that off of them. You take that, you know, you give it to them delivered. They don't say anything. That's why with this buyer we're doing 86K where we did this the painless way is he's not like, oh, I did this and this and this. He just told us what he'd pay, and that's why he's willing to pay it, and that's it. So one with nature. I hope that helps. There's intricacies, there's little details in everything we do, bro. But I'm proud of you for doing your thing. This is the guy that paid me 10K on my first sale, same situation. If you like this guy, I think this guy's fine just from what you're saying, but I think the deal is not as juicy and he didn't negotiate that good of a deal. So he's trying to hook you up. If it's the same situation, then maybe this isn't like, I'd look at the numbers and just see, but I'm assuming it just wasn't as juicy of a deal, or if it is that juicy, he just thinks he did more than, you know, he thinks he deserves more because he did way more. And I've felt like that too, guys. Like I've done 50-50 splits where like someone gives me a lead and then I end up having to do way more and they still get 50-50. And I'm like, bro, I did so much more than they did. But sometimes if you want to just be straight up, you just got to do what you agreed on, right? Even if you feel so. This guy, I'm not calling out his integrity or anything. I don't know him, but if you agree on something, just do what you agreed on. Okay. And then on the next one, you got to be a little bit more clear. So what you're learning from this one with nature is you got to be clear. Expectations are really important. If you don't set the right expectations in the beginning where you're saying, hey bro, I don't care. Like I'm going to give you a lead. You can negotiate it, but I got to make 10K. If you want this lead, that's what we got to do. So anyway, that's what, I got your back. Of course. Let's see. Some money is better than no money. Of course, man. And by the way, give me the deal next time. I'll make you more money. I promise. Like, well, I can't promise you. I don't know, but the way that I negotiate, the way I do deals, the spreads I can get out. I know on this deal that we're doing 86K, if I would have had this lead, like I'm telling you in this story, that the painless wholesaling story time, I probably would have made like 10K on this deal. The person that wanted this, that we got this deal for 86K, wanted $200,000 more than what we were able to negotiate. We got him down $200,000. Why? Because of the service, doing it the painless way, leveraging the buyers. The buyer we ended up wholesaling to was a unicorn. He just happened to pay way more than everybody else. If it wasn't for him, probably would have made like 20K on it. But we found someone that was willing to pay way more. So if you guys are interested in working with me, and guys, this is for everybody watching live. Not everybody's going to hear this, but I don't want to coach anymore. I don't want to coach or mentor. I'm going to say I don't mentor anymore, because I've learned that in order to really help people learn, you basically got to help them through the process and take them through it. And coaching and what I've seen with mentorships, it's like they just give you information and they tell you kind of like what I'm doing. I'm just talking about it. But in the Painless Flipping Academy, like I'm actually working with people now. It's like, hey, you got a lead. Let me tell you exactly what I would do. And I'll make you a video on what you should do. And if you don't want to do it, then I'll negotiate your deal. Like working with people on their deals is a lot more helpful than just telling them what to do and giving them some education and some videos. So that's what I'm doing now in the Painless Flipping Academy. It's like bump coaching, bump mentorships. It's literally like, let's do some deals together. That's the best way you're going to learn. Okay. So, and I've been mentoring guys. I've been mentoring for like 2 years. I've spent over $100,000 on mentorships, not hating on anyone's mentorship I've taken, but I've learned that the best way to learn is not by just watching people do it, watching videos and then trying to do it. It's literally by walking people through the process. Like everybody that I've done a deal with has learned way more from the deal than from like a hypothetical like video and deals. And like you need that. That's okay. But you can get that all day on YouTube, all this crap that's out there, all this information overload. People are overwhelmed. I think that stuff's trash because you give me, if you were like, yo, Nate, I'm going to give you 100 videos right now on how to do this. I'm not watching a single one of them, bro. I ain't got time. I don't want to watch them. No more information for me. I got more information I know what to do with. Let's do some deals together. Let's work together. I'll tell you exactly what I would do, or I'm doing it for you. That's the Painless Flipping Academy. Go to painlessflipping.com. It's freaking right now. It's $97 a month for us to do deals together, and or me to tell you what I would do on deals. And it's about to go up because we can only handle so many submissions and deals that people are submitting deals. So it's $97 a month. It's month to month. You can cancel anytime. The mentorship I had before was way more expensive, but thank goodness I'm doing this, obviously, for my mentorship people that I've had in the past. Freaking, they're a part of it for life. Don't have to pay. And I've learned. You live and you learn. Okay. So anyway, I'm just yapping, guys. I'm just straight yapping. But we got some stuff coming in here. Let's see. You are the man. It is about taking action, man. That's how you learn. You want to ride a bike? You don't read about riding a bike, and that's how you learn how to ride a bike. You freaking get on a bike and you learn. That's how you learn. Okay. Same thing with wrestling, jiu-jitsu, any sport. You can read about hitting a baseball, but you don't really learn how to hit a baseball until you freaking do it. Me and my partner are active in East Tennessee. Freaking, let's go, dude. Let's go. With that buyer, I would only present deals under contract. So, CEO, to be real, bro, I don't, that deal we did for A6K, I didn't have it under contract. And I think it's okay if you present it, you got to present it the right way. And there's just little things you have to do in order to make sure, like when we send our buyers through, we told them, hey, we're working with the seller. We're negotiating the right price. We just need to know where you need to be at. We just need you to walk through the house and, tell us where you'd be at. That's it, and if they talk to the seller, we're working with the seller. They know what's going on. Yeah, I usually do put them under contract. Good advice, man. Yeah, and that's okay to put them under contract, guys. I'm not saying don't do it, but I'm letting you know the way that I do it. I don't like to promise a seller that I can do a price and then have to renegotiate. I just say, hey, let me get some of the buyers I work with through, and let's do it. Let's see what happens. Do you offer a proof of funds to be used for submitting offers on market, or which service could you recommend? In my academy, I show you guys how to get proof of funds from hard money lenders. Also, I don't provide one because I'm not a hard money lender, but we show you exactly how to do it. Now I have a couple videos on YouTube to show you how to do it. Go ahead to watch those for free. But the academy is like kind of a done for you, easy way to do it. Yeah, proof of funds. I haven't had to send a proof of funds for a very long time, but he's talking about on market. On market is different than dealing with off market with sellers directly. Sometimes we get around it, but other times they request it. Okay, yeah, for sure. I just meant for that one buyer because he's shown a history of going around. Yeah, you know what? That one buyer, I would have another conversation with that buyer and just be like, bro, I'm out here grinding. I'm doing deals. I want to keep doing deals with you, but I kind of feel a little jaded. I feel like maybe you did me a little wrong. So let's how can we fix this? Because I'm not saying you're a bad person. I'm not saying, maybe I had the wrong expectations. I would have an open and honest conversation with that guy. And if he starts getting defensive and getting weird, I'm not doing business with him again. There's thousands of buyers out there. There's no reason to work with someone that you can't even have an open and honest conversation with. So, CO, I totally agree with you. But one with nature, you got to call that guy. Just be open and honest how you feel. And if he gets weird on you, for, get your money and then, work with someone else. You don't have to tell them I'm going to work with someone else. Just call me or just work with someone else. You ain't gotta be like, oh, I'm cutting you off forever. Yeah, I mean, you can, but that I wouldn't even worry about it. All right, guys. Well, I hope that was helpful. And I think we discovered a lot. We discovered that, driving for dollars works. Negotiation is key. Mentorships are trash. No, I'm just kidding. They're not everybody's trash. I'm sure there's some great mentorships out there, and I've been a part of some good ones. But the real way to learn is by taking action. And I really believe that the best way I can help you guys is we do some deals together, or I tell you what I would do on your deals. That's it. Painless Flipping Academy. That's what it is. It's month to month. It's not going to kill you, your pocketbook, especially if you do a deal in there. Like my guy right here that did 17,200. He can pay for the Painless Flipping Academy for the rest of his life. So that's my goal. Now, not everything's going to be that juicy as an 86K deal, but come in there. We'll help you do deals, or we'll tell you exactly what to do. That's what our service is. What do we got here? Hi, I don't know how to sign up at $97 a month in Painless Flipping. So I'll show you guys real quick. It's pretty easy. Let me share my screen with you guys. And if you guys are watching this on my Facebook group, I don't think you'll be able to see it. But anyway, you're going to have to go to okay, so if you go to painlessflipping.com, so here's the video. You just go here to, yes, I want to test drive the Painless Academy. So we give you a 15-day money back guarantee. So you don't even have to, like if you hate it, which you won't hate it because of what we're able to do for you, you can get your money back. That's why we say we test drive it for free. So anyway, you put in your email and there you go. Monthly membership, $97 a month. We are raising this, by the way. So come get it while it's $97. You're going to get grandfathered in because we're about to raise it to $197 a month and maybe more, depending on how many people get in here. So you put in your email. You can get these. You don't have to get these. These are just order bumps if you want other things. And then you just put in your information. Then you're ready to go. Bam, easy. Okay. So that's it. You just go here, put your email, your information. This is only if you want these two things. You do not have to click on these. This is everything you get and more, because we are improving it. We're enabling you guys to get the feedback, the personal Loom calls that give you feedback on your deals. And there you go. Bam, easy. Hope that was helpful. Fod. Did I answer your question, bro? Do you have a consultation agreement? Check this out. One with nature. I don't even use the consultation agreement, bro. It's just an invoice that says consultation fee. That's it. You don't really need an agreement. It's either they're going to sign the invoice or not. And again, we show you how to do that in the academy. All right. Nathan Valley works. Yes, Nathan Valley works. He works with me. We're partners on the real estate side. Still giving out the buyers list. You dang right, bro. It's in the academy. My buyers list that I spent over $39,000 to buy. I'm giving it out in the academy. If you remember, you get it. Okay. So it's honestly the craziest thing you could ever buy at that price. Why am I doing it? Because I'm tired of, charging, well, I don't know. I just think I want to get more people in. I want to be able to work with more people. I'm making it a no-brainer. That's it. And it's not always going to be that price, but it is now, but it won't be forever. $97 a month. Crazy. All right. You cool. All right. You better sign up, Fod. Let's go. Let's do some deals. You find them. I'll negotiate them, or my team will negotiate them, or I'll just tell you what I would do. And let's get you a freaking deal now. Okay. I can't guarantee it because it depends how hard you work and what you do, but at least I can tell you what I would do, and we can get some stuff, and you can get some more opportunities going. And I did another deal that's closing today. Now it's a 10K deal, and we're splitting it with someone, but that's like what, 90 $96,000 in wholesale fees. It's nuts. And guys, I'm doing it all with zero marketing spend. And that's honestly, there's so many different ways to do it, but I'm not going to overwhelm you with all the strategies. You guys just need to get on the phone and talk to sellers and find out if they're motivated. That's it. That's all you got to do in the academy. You come work with me. Keep hustling, everybody. One with nature. I love it. And I hope you do keep doing things the painless way. Just make sure you do it the correct way. You give that lead up to your buyer, you don't know what's going to happen to that lead. So just know that. Everybody, have a great weekend. Have a great Friday. Let's do some deals together. My goal is to help you guys succeed. And, hopefully these stories and the tools and the resources I provide you on my YouTube channel, the free training, hope it all helps you out. Have a great weekend, everybody. Peace out. Gio, I'm signing off, man, but it's good to have you tune in. Later, Giovanni. Have a great time. Have a great weekend, brother. Always thinking about you. You the man.